Hello, welcome again to the Kidney Kitchen. Today we're going to be making a classic northern Italian dish, risotto. Lovely dish, I love risotto myself. Takes a little bit more TLC if you like than other rice dishes. You've got to carefully, slowly add your stock and be gentle with it. A bit more TLC, but the rewards are in it if you do it properly. Usually used with meat and fish, but you can use vegetables as well. Originally had wine in it as well. Wine and saffron was used as well for the colour and the flavour originally. But today we're going to be doing a pea and mint risotto. Just vegetables, a little bit of Parmesan cheese in there as well, which is classic with all risottos. Some pea puree we got here. We pureed some peas with some mint, just frozen peas, and then some fresh mint and some whole peas going in at the end. A really tasty dish. So let's get cooking. So I'm going to start by just frying a little bit of onion, a little bit of olive oil. Again, this whole dish will take about a good 20 minutes to make a risotto, 15-20 minutes. You really want to give it some TLC, like I said, and look after it. Don't rush it, otherwise your rice won't be cooked and you won't get that nice creamy texture from your rice. I've got some vegetable stock at the back here that I've just brought to the boil. A couple of pints of vegetable stock, low salt vegetable stock I'm using. Again, you can use chicken stock or fish stock if you're making a different flavoured risotto. So when your onion's soft, then it's time to add your risotto rice. I'm using arborio risotto rice. You can use carnaroli as well. Slightly different to long grain rice and short grain rice. Again, you don't want to wash your rice at all because you want to keep that starch in there, so don't wash it or anything, because that's a very important part of the risotto, that the starch comes out of the rice and creates that real creamy texture for your risotto. This is where you want to coat your rice. Coat your rice in that lovely olive oil and it creates a little bit of film around your risotto. You can actually smell it cooking even now. So it's a bit of a time-consuming job, a bit tricky, but if you get it right, then the results are great at the end. This is where you want to start adding your stock, just a little bit at a time. It's very important you keep stirring as you add your stock, so your stock reduces and the rice will absorb all that lovely flavour. And because you're only using a little bit of liquid, the rice actually rubs together and it causes the starch molecules to open up, and then that's what helps your risotto to become nice and creamy. But to keep stirring it all the time, very important part of making a risotto. So that's 5 minutes past now. I don't know if you can see that, how swollen, if you like, the grains are beginning to get. It's absorbing all the liquid, and it's really creamy as well. See how that really starting to come together now. There you go, just about a ladleful at a time. It's not a sort of dish where you can just add some stock and then go away and do something else. You've really got to sit here and look after it. I was fortunate enough to go to Italy a couple of years ago and had some wonderful risottos over there with smoked fish and meat in and lots of white wine and loads of cheese, which isn't the best thing I know, but lovely when you're in the country of origin to try them. And when we add our peas, we're going to add our pea puree that we've already done with some mint. That will take a really nice, the risotto will take a really lovely green colour. You can have it as a starter. I sometimes serve it as a little starter or as a main course. As you can see, it's not really boiling. When you put the stock in, the stock's boiling itself or had been warmed up on the back. But when you add it, you're not boiling it back into the rice. It's just a really slow simmer, just ticking over nicely, nice and gently. And again, you can see how that creamy that's becoming now. So that's all the starch that's coming out of the rice. And without adding any cream to it either. You don't need to add any cream to it. It's naturally creamy itself. So we've been going a good 10 minutes now, as my right arm can verify. There's still quite a bite to the rice, still need to go more. But you can see how much it's swelling up, and we started with only a small amount of rice. You can easily see now that's, you know, it's going to do 4 people comfortably. Last little bit of stock. It will take all your stock as well. If you find that it's still a bit al dente for you, still a bit hard to taste, you can always knock up a little bit more stock. Just add another little, you know, make up another half a pint of your vegetable stock, bring it back to the boil, and then just add it again. You want your rice cooked, and nothing worse than eating rice when it's hard at all. That's almost there now. Just the last little bit of stock. I think we're ready to add our peas. There we go, a lovely pea and mint puree that we made earlier. Just stir that into our rice. Now you can really smell the mint and the peas coming through now. There we go, that's all stirred in. Just a couple more things. We've got some frozen peas as well that we've already cooked, just to give it a bit of texture. And a bit of parmesan. Just a bit of chopped mint. That's really good. I've just put a knob of butter in there as well, just to enrich in the whole dish. Now I've just got to plate it up. And there we go, 1 pan of pea and mint risotto. I'm just going to put some in a bowl here and ask Laura, our dietitian here today, to come and try some of this. How you doing?
Hi, you're right. This looks lovely.
Looks all right. Bit of a chefy sprig there. Lovely, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, the smell of mint is really fresh.
How's
it
that?
looks lovely. Yeah, nice bright colour. I love risottos. They're quite sort of easy to make, and lots of different flavours you can add. Yeah, I like the way that you've got some sort of whole peas in it as well as the puree. It gives it a nice sort of texture.
A bit of an extra texture, isn't it? Yeah. I love mint. It's my favourite, one of my favourite herbs. And we pureed the peas beforehand, pureed some with some mint leaves in there as well. So I've got extra mint burst as well going on there as well.
And it's really good when you've got kidney problems to make use of all those other flavours, sort of from the herbs and the spices, without needing to add salt.
Yeah. Like I said, you could use meat as well. I've used meat risottos before I've made. Usually I put wine in them as well whenever I've made them for the restaurant or in the industry. I've always put a big lug of white wine in there as well at the start.
Yeah.
Is that something you could do or not?
Yeah,
Not recommended?
You could do, yeah. I mean, I think a small amount of wine would be fine if it adds the sort of flavour into it.
It does actually. The rice really absorbs that wine at the start of the process.
And we talked about whether to add some. Did you add the butter in at the end?
Just a knob of butter, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think it's a good way of adding a bit of flavour. But obviously, if someone is concerned about the fats and things, they could just sort of skip that step, I suppose. Sure. Yeah.
It's your last bit.
You sure? It's lovely. Thank you very much.
Come out well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good.
Thank you for trying it.